Welcome, everybody.
We're all there. Hello, how are we all? How are we? There's a lot of you in here tonight. How are we? That was quite a fun little intro to the video there, into the stream. Yes, and I'm joined tonight by Matt and Daisy. Say hello.
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 So, where did that video come from, Daisy? Do you want to say where the video? I think you've been playing.
Well, I didn't want to let Matt do any driving, so I've basically come all the way down from Birmingham, barged in his front door, stolen his headphones, and yeah, took a video whilst I was driving on the.
Brilliant! Oh, that's
way down.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, no, great way to experience it. Anybody in the comments who've done that before, I know of people who have done that in the past, and it looks like great. It's something I haven't done before, something I'll probably need to do at some point. So yes, so we're here for the first, oh my word, the first TSW5 stream. So who's excited? Are we all excited for seeing some awesome bits and pieces? So yes, if you haven't seen already, we're going to stream the West Coast Main Line tonight. So that's the West Coast Main Line from Euston to Milton Keynes, 50 miles, 28 stations. I think we're starting with the 350, is that correct, Matt?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so we'll have a bit of fun on the 350. And then we'll move on to the Pendolino, which is going to be awesome seeing that. Always good fun.
Have we got any admin to do, Jamie? That's what I'm looking forward to. We need to get the admin done.
Yes, I need to get my admin done. So, for those who are not aware, TSW5, I have to keep remember saying 5 this time, is releasing on the 17th of September, with early access being on the 12th. Don't forget there's a free starter pack available until the 17th of October. So if you can come into Train Sim World. There's a standard edition, there's a deluxe and a special edition, as well as there'll be some regional packs as well. So I think, Matt, we've got some assets, haven't we, with the different pictures. So that's the free one. So that's what you get in the free one. So you get a training centre livery designer, free roam formation designer, scenario planner.
The important thing that the free one is that it's not going to automatically appear in your account. Make sure that you claim it. If you wait until October the 18th to claim it, you will be too late. So make sure you claim it, even if you're not sure if you want to play it right now, because you're busy with some of your other fantastic TSW4 routes. Also, for example, go ahead, get your claim done so that it's sitting there waiting for you. Because once it's gone, it's gone. The only way to upgrade once the free edition is gone, or the starter pack is gone, is to get one of the standard deluxe or special editions at that point.
Yes, yeah. And that's your standard edition. So as you can see, the 3 routes there and your training centre. So a good start. Standard edition there, and then we've got deluxe, which you get the extra locos as well, which is the West Coast Pendolino and the Flix train.
It also comes with Cajon Pass. Cajon Pass adds a lot of content onto the San Bernardino line in terms of adding all of the freight to it. So it's a good addition for those of you that joined us maybe in TSW4 and didn't, because it was the core route in TSW3, which seems a long time ago now. But yeah, it's a fantastic route on its own, but it also adds a whole ton of extra stuff onto San Bernardino line.
Yeah. And then this is special edition. Wow, look at all that. There's a lot there. It adds all the bits and pieces that you need for the new routes, I think, Matt, doesn't it?
So the goal here of special edition is to add routes and trains which complement the experience of the 3 core routes. So whether it's adding route hot points, adding trains which enable layers, that kind of thing. So and just broadening the experience out. So in the case of Trenton, it's added because you've got diesel passenger, you've got diesel freight, or this is electric high-speed mainline passenger stuff. So that's it's about broadening out the experience and adding and deepening the experience of the 3 core trains. So there's actually some really tremendous content there. There's more routes than last year's special edition in there.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so I think, yes, do you want to start off, Matt, Daisy, and start going into the West Coast Main Line?
Sure.
Hang on a minute, let me just... You can talk for just a minute, I'm just trying to balance your volumes out, Jamie.
Oh, am I a bit loud or am I a bit
Such
quiet?
a booming voice.
Yeah, you're a bit loud. Right, if we need to adjust it, folks, I'll adjust it later on. But there we go. Let me switch over to that one. Welcome to TSW5. So we're not going to run the game first. What we're going to do is just have a quick tour of what does TSW5 look like. So you can see we've got the front end, and the goal with the changes on the front end and all the UI changes is to look kind of recognisable, familiar to what you've got, but to make a few enhancements to how it all flows. So if you go into settings, there's some, it seems like an odd place to start, but hey, settings are important. One of the things that's been changed here is that obviously the general layout, but if you go into, say for example, general, and you hover over things, you'll find that some of these things now actually display text box on the right hand side, so that you can actually see some explanations of what some of these things do. They don't all have tips, and we're going to add and extend some of these descriptions, but you'll find there's a fairly decent list in there of the tips and what they do and how they work. So if you've got any questions about that, hopefully that answers. If not, and if you've got any suggestions for what you'd like to see there, let us know. So if you go back, and actually, look, before we go any further, let's go to, there's a couple of new settings under HUD and gameplay. If you scroll down, so suspension model is toggleable now on TSW5. So you've got the improved one or the standard one. You can change it as long as your train is not driving, or you're not driving a train, essentially. If the train is moving...
People complain about the volume.
Oh, yeah. Game audio. Let's go and turn the game audio down. Just turn the music down to about 20%. I'll do. Apply that. Hopefully that's... Is that better? Yeah, hopefully that's better. That's there. That's there. I can see I'm talking over the game now, which is better than it was. Hopefully that's better. So yeah, you got the suspension model, so you can turn off the suspension and go back to the. If you don't like the bouncy, you can go back to the absolutely flat as you had before. The suspension update. It doesn't. If you put it into improved, it won't add suspension to trains that don't have it. But standard will take it off the trains that do have it, if that makes sense. Digital display screen view enables the new digital display screen feature. So if you don't like the click to zoom, which we'll show you when we get in the game, then you can turn it off here. And then the guard mode control guide, again, when we get to showing you conductor mode, one of the things you'll see is that the first couple of stops, it guides you through what buttons to press, and then it stops guiding you. Once you get the hang of it, you could just turn this off, and then you'll never get any guides, essentially. So that's some of the new settings. Let's go back to the home screen. And so if you click to the trains, squishy animation, it's probably the most important bit. You've got choose a route, you've got train depot. Fundamentally, these things are all going to do what you're expecting. Click choose a route.
Yep. It's important to mention we've swapped the layout this time around as well. To choose a route is more seamless, so you can, when you click the big button, it's straight away in there. Because most people from a poll we did said that they chose a route first rather than choosing a train.
Yeah, you can almost double click to get through them if you're in the right place.
So
otherwise, you'll end up in quick play if you do it in the wrong place. But yeah, it just makes it cleaner.
Straight into the route menu.
Yeah, absolutely. So here you've got the routes. Yes, yeah, I like the animations that the team have done there. So you've got all the routes here. I mean, fundamentally, this is doing the same thing as it's done before, but you've got the spacing is a bit tidier and so forth. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to cover in the UI before we get in, because I know everyone wants us to shut up and get on with the Euston route. But if there is, we'll come back to it. Let's get into the Euston route. So if you go ahead and click on Euston. So you've got, if you click on scenarios first, let's have a look in there. So you've got, if you slowly scroll down them, so you've got scenarios for the Pendolino, which is obviously the deluxe, and it's also available separately as a DLC, including the Pendolino. Gameplay team wins every time. You've got the so there's a number of scenarios which use a combination of the 350 and the 377 on there as well. So you've got a range of things going on in the scenarios, heavy traffic and carriage collector. I did carriage collector, that's quite fun. So those are your scenarios. So let's click back. In under training modules, you just in this point you're only going to have the route intro. Oh, actually, we should show the training centre. What am I doing? So if you click back,
Yeah.
and back again, actually click home. And go to Training Centre. This is the all new Training Centre UI. Now you've got the journey approach for doing the tutorials sequentially, or you've got the new UI, which you get by clicking the big middle button there, Tutorials, which gives you, and then go to Basics. And that then gives you all of the different tutorials, and you can look at information about what that tutorial is going to cover, and then when you're happy you can click the Start Training Module button. Some of them, like audio settings, you'll notice there is a text-based one, and if you click that it expands it, and then you can get other information about some of these things in there as well. And again, and there's about 17 unplayable tutorials now covering a wide range of topics. Click back. And then go into train operations, and then under train operations you've got a whole bunch of text-based tutorials in here covering all sorts of things, and again really keen to see what everybody thinks of these, what other topics you'd like to see added or expanded on in this section. So trying to see this as a growing encyclopedia train Annika. Does that work? No. Okay, moving on.
I like that. I haven't seen that before. I think that's really good. I like that.
Yeah, that's worked out quite nicely. So if you click home, and then let's get onto some Euston. I'm not looking at the chat, and until we get into Euston, I don't want to see, because they're probably getting angry. Right, so I'll click back. Let's have a look at the trains. They've got every piece of DLC installed. You got the Pendolino. 72 stock comes with it. You don't need to own Bakerloo to get 72 stock. The 66 comes in the DB Cargo livery. I'm sure we'll be seeing that as we drive. The 377/2, the 350, which we'll be getting a new thumbnail tomorrow, and the 710, which is coming from the Suffragette Line DLC. So this is what you've got in terms of layers and content and so forth. And just while we're talking about layers, let's click that layers button in the top. And you can see here that these are the layers. And for example, if you don't want the Class 710 layer, then you could just tick it off, and then it would disappear and you wouldn't see it anymore. But we'll be ticking it on. Some of the routes have got quite considerable amounts of layers. This one's only got the 3, but like if you did this on East Coast Main Line, there'd be about 50 entries in this list, because Joe really spreads everything out across lots of different layers. It's really cool. And you'll see that as a growing trend, splitting out into lots of layers, so that you've got a bit more control using the layer filter to select that stuff. So if we now go to, we're going to start, well, take us away with the first journey days. I can't remember what we're doing first.
So we're going to start on foot at Euston, just before 8 o'clock, so we can have a little look around Euston, and we can take the 0807 service.
You make it custom weather, so that it doesn't change to bad weather on us while we're driving.
What do we want it on?
That'll do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go.
I need turning up apparently again.
You need turning up now, do you?
I need turning up. Apparently I'm going the other way now.
Alright, I'll put it halfway between where you were and where you are.
Okay.
How's
Right.
that? Can everybody hear me now?
I can hear you better.
Well,
That's a
we
good
can
start.
So
That's
if
a
you
good
just turn
start. Well, that
around,
normally helps.
this coloured cone here is a route hop point. Alright, we won't do that right now, but these are what the route hop points look like, and these will let you hop. Now, all of the London route, all the routes that have got, all the London terminus stations are connected together via the route hop. So from here you could go to St Pancras on South Eastern High Speed, for example. So, yep, let's get on with the what we're looking for.
Okay, so we're going to head up to the main concourse. Let's have a little look around to start with.
Please.
You'll have to excuse my voice being a bit raspy. I've got a bit of hay fever affecting me at the moment.
So this is London Euston Station. Captures the dark and miserable feel of London, I think, perfectly.
London, not just Euston.
London Euston. Just the entirety of London. Yes, yeah. So yeah, this is so recognisable from when I've been down here.
Yeah.
And then when you come out to the concourse, if you've ever been to Euston here, you'll recognise it very quickly. You can't actually go out into this section, but you can see the areas here, and we have kind of pranked everybody with the toilets down there as well, which I thought was quite funny.
Where was that?
That's behind you, and then walk down there.
I've
So
been
this
too busy
is-
testing the trains to look around the station too much.
Keep going.
Oh, I can't.
You see, we pranked you even harder then, because you now can't even get there. You used
Oh,
to be able to
no.
get down there and see that they weren't there.
Amazing.
So yeah, this is London Euston. We've brought in some of our favourite shops here, like Liquid Bean Cafe and Sandwedge.
I could do with a cookie right now.
I know.
I've not
I
had
could
dinner
do with
yet.
a
We haven't
cookie
had
right
anything
now.
to eat.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
I'm not going to say I wouldn't.
Oh, we got a new shop.
Mini
Mini
papers.
papers. Why isn't it filled with train magazines? Right, I'm complaining when I get back to the office.
I think it's all train
Sweet
magazines,
shops.
isn't it?
Sweet shops as well.
I think it's all train magazines.
Yeah, probably.
The print.
Yeah. Well, let's carry on then.
Yeah. There's a little info stand. Just oh, Mr. Trick not letting me sit down there. Yeah. Just
Can I help you?
Yeah. I say this queue is always like halfway across the concourse with
It is, yeah.
people asking millions of questions.
And I think this is a relatively modern change to Euston, isn't it? Remember, someone
Yeah,
commented
last
that
year,
this,
maybe.
something like this. Yeah, because we went out and did a rough photo survey from across the route, and this was some of the latest changes to it.
Oh, we've got some cash points now. I don't think we've ever seen those before.
Devo Bank. That's
Devo
new.
Bank.
Never heard of Devo Bank.
No.
Devo Bank.
I'm on board.
And then where you
I've used that safe storage before in Houston.
how
quite fun
expensive
of
was it, Jamie?
Too expensive.
That's good. Yeah, you can get down to all what is currently available in London Euston.
You've got the little like airport trolleys as well
Yeah.
for the luggage. You know. Always got to remember your pound coin.
Some people don't bother and just chuck them in the canal though, so we don't recommend that. And then there's the Euston Engineering siding for high speed 2, as it currently stands.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Have a station full of Pendolino as well. Looks at that. Well, this is a good opportunity actually. Press the 9 key. Let's have a quick look at the new map.
Oh, yeah.
So you got new
yes,
map.
new map.
We got labels. The labels disappear if you zoom out very far because so they disappear. We are going to look in the future at making some scalable options for the fonts and so forth. But at the moment, yeah, you show them when you zoomed in a bit. You can also, if you hover over one of the trains, you can see that what that next service is. So that's an 0802 service to Tango 15.
Yep, which is the train we'll be taking
That's
shortly.
the one we'll be taking shortly. And then you've got different services there. You've got the signals as well. So you can see they've got if you zoom out just a little bit, you can see that the signal has got a black post on it now. And the idea is you read it from the post up to the signal. So you can see these are all signals facing west. And then as you zoom in, you get that extra arrow and detail. And the shape of these signals is different on each of the routes as well. So the UK has got more round shaped ones.
Good.
So we'll show more of that as we go through. But probably want to catch a train.
Yeah. Let's go and get it before the AI takes over. We have 90 seconds to walk around Euston.
And no console command to cheat.
No.
Run!
Yeah. Whenever I'm streaming stuff to Matt to show off what's going on, I'm always in super speed walk mode. That's how my brain works though, just super speed.
I know we've probably had quite a few questions. Will there be sort of like any of the, because some of the Pendolinos have got interesting liveries. I think there's a Pride one. Is it just the Avanti?
Just the Avanti West Coast livery that's included, yeah.
Yeah. And one other question which we'll go for that, have we got the Caledonian Sleeper? Because obviously that goes from here as well.
No, it's just the trains that we've highlighted that are included.
And welcome to the 350.
There we are.
Sit down before the AI does.
Yeah. I was just trying to let it the last few seconds.
Had about 3, 4
There we go.
couple of seconds.
So something you'll find interesting about the 350 is, in reality, these door control panels don't work. We've put them in at the moment, making them work just because people might not be used to it. But yeah, depending on feedback, if people want more realism, where you know, obviously, I mean, in real life, the guard operates the doors, and these wouldn't be operational anyway.
But some people like to click on buttons
Yeah.
to open the doors, so
Yeah.
we've made it to where you can.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
if,
we're interested in feedback on
yeah,
that.
so if people prefer that it's more realistic, so you have to get up and walk, like if you did it DOO, driver only operated, which you'd have to basically get up, walk to the other side of the cab and open the doors that way.
We are going to do a bit of guard mode as well, conductor mode later on, so you'll get that full experience.
So if I press view screen now,
You just click on the screen and it pops up. This is the new display screen functionality, and then lets you go in and set stuff up. And then when you're finished, you just right click.
That's
Okay.
really nice. One of the questions, because obviously the 350 actually has a third rail, doesn't it?
yes,
And
it does.
This works.
Yeah, it
And
works
this
both.
one works on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dual power.
Oh, let's get some headlights on. So the 350 has semi-automatic tail lights and headlights. So the headlight switch will work regardless of if the reverser is keyed in or not. So you can get a Christmas tree effect essentially, which is as per reality. On some depots, not with West Midlands trains, but when the driver has prepped the unit, I think it's Clapham Junction, they'll leave the unit with markers and tail lights on, and it's just a visual indicator that the person who's coming along to it knows that the prep's already been completed. Right, let's get going.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. DRA, that would help. Thought I'd broken it.
So we're non-stop to Harrow and Wealdstone. There are different services on that with the 350 that some 4, some 8 car. You've got some that stop in intermediate places to Harrow, and you've got some that are express. It's really a wide range. There's some Class 1 services which are pretty much non-stop the whole way. So there's a good variety of stuff you can do with the 350s. You've got another one coming in there over the side.
We have some horn action as well, please.
So you'll notice it's got a quite quiet horn at the moment, and this is as per reality. So if I speed up now, if you listen to the right hand side of the cab when you're going above about 20 miles an hour, I think it is, there's like a little valve you'll hear go hiss. Just there. And what that does is, it's called a choke valve. And what that does is it makes the horn quieter at slower speeds, so that when the train's in a depot, it doesn't disturb the residents, basically.
Oh, interesting. That's a clever design.
It's a bit like some of the high-speed trains, like the Javelin, have a similar thing at 100 miles an hour upwards. The Kazuma does it as well, so that as they get once they get, I think, to 100 miles an hour, they kick in and they become much louder. But there are little tricks in the depot they can use to make that happen without having to go 100 miles an hour for testing purposes.
Yeah.
So I remember when the team went over to get the Azuma recordings, they were able to use that to get both whistle types.
And just behind the driver's seat here, you can do it on the 350 if you isolate the horn miniature control circuit breaker. That will get you the loud horn when you're stationary as well. yeah, horn.
The horn on this is the horn that you recorded, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was from a 350.
It was. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because that was something like from the sound recordings. That's something someone's asked it also about the Pendolino, but we can come over to the Pendolino. What recordings have we used? You know, with the 350.
So the
and
350
West
is all my recordings. I record these over the course of a couple of years. So the 350 is actually the first ever sound recordings I ever did. So I went back and did some bits and bobs that I didn't really like and sorted those out recently.
Oh, brilliant.
But yeah.
Yeah, if you're hearing it sound like other things, it's because these sounds have been used on the 700s in DC mode, and they've been used on the 380 because they do sound like this. You were asking about audio for the Pendolino. I got the answer to that question. As always,
Yeah.
Nothing is ever straightforward. So, what the audio people said was, everything on the Pendolino but running and traction motor sounds are recorded from Pendolinos at Wolverhampton Depot. We went out there for a recording trip and got everything, but we weren't able to secure a mainline run for recording. Those are always much more difficult to organise. As a result, the team has spent actually a significant amount of time, much more than if they'd got recordings, looking at other sounds in the library and modifying them and augmenting them to match the sounds as closely as possible that you get from recording. So yeah, it's not, their running and traction motor sounds are approximation, but a pretty close approximation, whereas everything else is fully accurate.
Yeah.
Sorry, someone else has said, where is the suspension? So that's worth calling out as well. Suspension is not going to be on day one on the 350, the 377 or the 72 stock, and isn't on the 710 because that's not part of this pack, obviously. But they'll be coming. Essentially, we ran into some problems last minute, and rather than have trains potentially falling off the track, which is what was happening in some cases, we've just disabled it for now. We'll work out what's going on with physics craziness, fix it, and we'll put a patch out for that. So they'll be following along shortly.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated with that all. I've noticed someone has asked about the LNWR license. We've got a link for that, about the information for that. I will put that in the chat if you haven't seen it. There we are, so that should be the right one. Yes, it is.
The train actually looked like this during the handover period between London Midland and London and Western Railway. I don't think it looks too bad.
I love it. Someone's asking about track shadows. So yes, you'll notice, and it's probably less obvious. It's much less obvious to see it like this than if it's not there at all. We had a mode where you could turn it on and off. In fact, our dev builds, we can turn the track shadow effect on and off. And what you'll see is if you remind yourself, go and run the game after the stream, you'll find that the track shadows are only going a very short distance ahead. Roughly where the white dot is roughly where the track shadow ends normally. And what we've actually got is a new system which renders the track shadows out into the distance.
Yeah, you are right, because it's there and it's not an issue. You don't notice it anymore.
No, exactly.
I think someone had asked what the top speed is. The 350. I think it's 110, isn't it?
It is 110, yes.
I thought
Says
it's
there,
there.
right
It
on the
is,
top.
see? It's there on the top.
One of the other questions I've seen asked was in the forums was asking about the existing stretch of the route. The bit we're on at the moment exists in the Bakerloo line, and they're asking what modifications have been made. And it is based on the Bakerloo line section of the route, but the West Coast Main Line section really hadn't been modelled particularly well at all because it wasn't important for the Bakerloo line. So there's quite a lot of work went there, and since then the landscape materials have been modernised to the latest versions rather than using the ones that came with Bakerloo line, and there's been extra foliage and so forth added. But fundamentally, it is based on that original the Bakerloo line route, but it's had work on it to enhance it. And obviously it's all been upgraded to support Todd 4, so it's sort of a remaster, if you like. We have someone actually asking for a notch 5, and we had this discussion on beta, didn't we? Because
so
it looks like there's a notch 5,
there is
and
not
isn't.
a notch 5. So this is a bit of an illusion, really. It's whoever designed the original identity plate for the traction for the power brake controller put a max notch instead of just having max with the word max without a dot. So in reality, the thing is it's sort of a mix between 4 notches and fully I can't remember the word now.
Free moving.
Yeah, fully free moving. Yeah, so you could theoretically have 1% power between 0 and notch 1. That's proving difficult to implement in the game. So it's currently just 4 notches. But yeah, the after notch 4, or indent 4, it would be in sort of in real terms. There's a tiny bit of extra movement where you might get 1% extra power. Compared to the it's 4 notches though, 4 indents.
Actually,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, interestingly, the other thing you were talking about, Matt, about the Bakerloo line, has the Bakerloo line section of the Watford sort of DC line been updated, like with 710 stop signs, things like that?
No, it hasn't had the 710 stop signs added to it, but the line has been, like I said earlier, the line's been updated in terms of bringing it to current standards.
Yeah.
Will the Class 390 be available for standard edition players as a separate DLC? It will, on day 1, I believe. Guess you're following something.
We are. We're not too far from Harrow now, so I thought I'd break a little bit early.
I saw someone had asked what variations of the 350 is there? Is there 4 and 8 car, or is there what
There are 4 and 8 cars. I think that's it. I don't think I've seen any 12s.
No, there's not many 12 cars actually running around in the main timetable nowadays. There are a couple, I think, on weekends, but because the demand of passengers is so low at the moment, yeah, it's mainly just 4s and 8s cars.
We're now coming in at Harrow and Euston.
No, the long track shadows don't like junctions. They work on straights and curves only. The maths required to figure it out on junctions is not something we've mastered yet. But because this is not creating real shadows, as I've tried to explain, I think in other streams, it's using a mathematical calculation to work out where the shadow would be and then draw it in. Because otherwise, the frame rate cost of these shadows would be incredible. No, it's something we'll see if we can look at in the future, but at the moment, no, it's not in junctions.
I know people are asking if the 710 is playable. It is, isn't it, Matt? I think.
710 is playable. In fact, there's quite an extensive timetable for the 710. Oh, we've got a 72 stock there in the turnaround loop.
Oh, well, that's a long map.
Someone asked about the upgrade process. So if you're a TSW4 person and you've got, say, Suffragette Line, for example, if you upgrade to TSW5, whether you do it with the free edition or whether you do it with one of the paid editions, then yes, all of your content will come across. In theory, it comes across immediately. The reality over the last couple of years is that on different platforms it's worked differently well, but it will all come across eventually. So do not repurchase anything that it's not come across. It will come across. Just let our support people know if you're not seeing any of your collection come across to TSW5, and they'll let you know what's going on and if they need to take any actions to help you. So yeah, but do contact our support people if you have any problem. Is it possible to create a video about the switch over from 4 to 5 using the free edition? Just literally, once it shows up in your store on your preferred gaming platform, claim it, install it, and then everything will come across. There should be very little to it. In theory, he says, fingers crossed. These things always work really well.
Someone mentioned about door sounds on the 350.
What's the matter with them?
I mean, I can't hear them, but someone says there's no door sounds.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
Is there?
They're quite quiet in reality. The beeper for the doors is actually in here for closing. The external beeper is... The 350-1s are actually the quietest of the fleet because they've got the oldest klaxon sounders.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's little one there and a little one just there. But because they're outside constantly and they have been since the start of service, they just they've seen better days.
JD Games, the free starter pack is there for you to play the game for free. So if you don't own any Train Sim World at the moment, and you just get the free starter pack, then all you'll have is Training Centre and the 4 trains that come with Training Centre. But that will work for free. If you have existing Train Sim World 432 and you get the free starter pack, then all of your existing content will come across and you can use it. Obviously, if you get the free starter pack, what you don't get is the new content, the new routes and trains. The 72 stock has had no sound upgrades, no, Cyrus. Raxi, no, it's not a paywall game because of the free edition. Passed by a Pendolino. Show off.
Overtaken, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, if anyone's wanting to change platforms, like if you want to go from an Xbox to a PC or a PC to a PlayStation 5, you can't. Your DLC will not follow you in that way. It will only follow you as long as you stay on the same platform. Same as it's always been. The Class 710 services are running up to Watford Junction, so they're Euston to Watford Junction complete services. Good fun, actually.
It's not as a passenger, it takes forever.
I enjoyed it as a driver.
Yeah, it's fun as a driver, but yeah, as a passenger, it's the definitely a slow way to go. I think I took it to from Watford to Stonebridge Park once to try and get the whistle for the 1972 stock when we did TSW2, whenever that came out, Bakerloo.
Yeah, a while ago.
I basically just stood on the edge of the end of the platform talking to drivers, and I was like, "Any chance I could just get you to blow the whistle?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." So that's how we got the whistle for the 72 stock.
The 701 is not in a deluxe edition, no. It's on the Suffragette line, but that's also included in the special edition. So you can either buy Suffragette line on its own, or pick up special edition if there's enough other stuff in there that makes it good value for you.
But yeah, someone had asked for the timetable. I think what we'll do is when we go back to the menu, we'll show you some bits of timetable. I think we have a little plan for guard mode as well.
Yep.
As well, don't we? So,
yeah, we're going to show a bit of guard mode. We're going to show a bit of Pendolino, and we're going to drive a bit of 710.
Yep. So lots to look forward to. Lots to look forward to.
Turn the audio. Which audio do you want turning up, and what's the general consensus on the audio? Because the danger of turning the game audio up is then we can't hear us. Oh, I get what you want.
Someone has asked about, yeah, we'll keep some of the questions for the Pendolino when we get to it, so don't worry.
Someone did just ask about it being whether it's the refurbished interior, and I believe it is. Yes, Avanti were very, very particular about the Pendolino and making sure it was the latest version.
Yeah.
If you go from PS4 to PS5, yes, your DLCs will transfer because you're still in Sony's ecosystem. It's like if you go from Xbox One to Xbox Series X, it'll work. Matt seems angry, apparently. Why?
He's not angry. It's just very warm in here.
It is pretty warm in here. Will you be able to route hop to Bakerloon at Queen's Park? Yes, and at Harrow and Euston. There's route hop points there as well. Both of them have route hop points on both routes. Although Bakerloo line probably won't be getting its route hop points day one because we've got some other stuff going on Bakerloo line at the moment, so it may come in a bit later on. But you'll be able to jump to Bakerloo line at least.
I know someone was asking who was driving, and Daisy's driving tonight, aren't you?
Daisy's driving, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said at the start, I came down, barged his door open, stole his ears, his headphones, and then...
I've been fired, basically.
Yeah.
I've been told I'm not allowed to drive anymore. No, I'm not talking about the Bakerloo line at the moment, for those who are asking about my comment just there. It's just why we haven't... that's just why we haven't... it's not going to get its route hop points. It's bug fixing. It's nothing exciting. But because we're in the middle of the bug fixing, we can't make a build of it at the moment. That's why the driving is so good. Yeah, indeed.
Oh, they're taking the mick out of your driving.
They really are, aren't they? It's just relentless at this point. Okay.
What are they saying? I'm not
They're saying, oh, now we're not going to see what happens when you miss stations.
You're actually on time. You're not late, you know. But...
It's almost like I work on the railway.
Wow. Daisy, do you want to mention anything about what do you do? You know,
So yeah,
in the railway?
I think it showed in the title screen. But my job is a senior conductor or train guard, basically I don't sign this route. I sign the train, the class 350, and signing is basically just something you it's essentially what you do when you learn a train. You have to sign your name to it to say that you know, once you've fully understood everything that you've been taught. Yeah, you sign your name, say I'm competent to work this train, and somebody else countersigns it, like a member of management team countersigns it and says, yeah, this person has been trained properly, and yeah.
Ah, very good.
So yeah, I sign as far as Northampton going south, and Liverpool going north, and most of the trains in the West Midlands as well.
Quite a large area then.
Yeah.
Oh, hello British Ace, how are we doing? I see British Ace has just joined. Oh, someone's asked for the full route map, please.
Oh, yeah,
We'll do that when we get to Hemel Hempstead.
Yeah, when we get to Hemel Hempstead, we'll just zoom the map out so you can see the whole thing.
Yeah. I take driving seriously, no distractions please.
Got people in the cab you're waffling to.
Yeah.
It's about 1,500 of them.
Oh, I'd say it's 1,500. I'd say it's more like over 2,000 people all
Wow.
crammed in this little cab.
Yeah, the train's standing up on one end. That's what broke the suspension. All these people.
All these people in the, you know. Yeah, we're all well, British Ace. We're looking forward to TSW 5.
There's a bunch of people asking questions about other content and other routes and other trains. They go in the usual bin, I'm afraid. That A, we're not here to talk about that, and B, we don't talk about that. It's kind of like Fight Club.
Never taken again.
Someone said, what's that black screen on the left? It's not a screen, it's a panel.
Well, it is actually two screens behind there.
Is there?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Those have been put there in case the company ever wanted to go driver only operated. But yeah, they've been covered up because we're likely going to keep guards for a long time now, which is great. It keeps me in a job.
That's good. Someone's asked, does the 350 have SDO?
Sort of. So it's operated by the guard, and it's not called SDO. It's called Unit Deselect, or UDS, and it's this green switch here. Now it does nothing in the driver's cab at all. The driver has no responsibility for doors, and this switch does nothing when the driver's keyed in. Basically what you'd have to do is make sure at least a minimum of two 4 cars are coupled together. You need to go then to cab 3. So imagine this is cab number 1, the one that's the driving one. You have to go to cab 3, put your door key switch on, and then you enable the unit deselect switch and then release the doors, and that will basically only release the doors forward of the cab you're in. So basically it locks out the unit you are travelling in. Unit deselect deselects the unit you are working from, which means that basically if you have a short platform as a guard and the train stops and you're in the saloon, you have to run back to the cab to enable the switch and open the doors, because if you did it from the saloon it would open all the doors and then you'd be in trouble. Because somebody could have fallen out and hurt themselves. So yeah, it's a very big issue if you open the doors with the train not platformed.
Someone's asked, can you still use, for example, the D-pad or keybind or do you have to release the doors with buttons?
No, you can use D-pad. If you're using the controller, the D-pad buttons will work just as normal.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can use the buttons as well. It's kind of up to
Yeah.
you. Same as all the other trains. There will not be freight on PS4 or Xbox One, no. The train is there, but it's not in service mode.
Yeah, so if you want to use freight on Gen 8, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
So if you
Generation 8
wanted to
console,
use-
so PS4 or Xbox One.
Yeah, if you wanted to use that, you can, go into free roam and spawn, a Class 66 with freight, if you wanted to as well. If you wanted to drive some freight.
So here is the route map.
Ah, there we go. Yes, there we are. That's the full route map.
Milton Keynes is all the way up here.
Yep.
Euston all the way down here.
You want to zoom in on Euston, so we can see the marker
Large
names as
depot
well.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you zoom in a bit, you can see all the marker names showing up now as well, which is good to see.
Yeah.
Look at that. Quite a large area, isn't it?
Massive.
Wisdom.
Absolutely massive.
Then probably people will be wondering sort of collectibles. So for collectibles we have got... I did write these down.
Is there any depots for the 390 and the 350? Yes. Is it Wimbledon Park or something? The depot
So
for
we've got
390?
Wembley for the 390.
Yeah.
Camden sidings and Bletchley for the 350.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, and then collectibles are defibrillators, route maps, the Milton Keynes delivery robots. which I've
Or
never
a
seen
variation
before.
of, I don't
A
think there is.
variation of, yeah.
Yeah. And football scarves. Aren't they, I think?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's because of the stadium, is it?
I think so.
Yeah.
And someone says, when will suspension be added to the 350? Don't know, soon. It's half implemented, but it doesn't work properly, so that's why it's been disabled. So we'll fix it and we'll release it in an update.
The 350 suspension in reality is also incredibly hard. I think I sent a video ages ago when we were first looking into suspension, showing what it looked like going over junctions at high speed, and it's just it throws you from side to side, but it doesn't really do much bouncing.
So the collectible about the robot is that in Milton Keynes they are trialling delivery robots. This is like Uber but Robo, I don't know. And it's kind of like you deliver something and then a bot comes up and you open the lid and the stuff comes out and the bot wanders off, and it seems like a good idea. They're surprisingly big things.
Yeah.
I think the trial, as far as I understand, is going quite successfully. But
Yeah.
we thought it was really cool, really unique to Milton Keynes. So we have something that sort of represents those.
I mean, if you search up them on YouTube, you'll find some quite funny videos of them falling into potholes and things, which is not ideal, but I think the technology will improve over time.
No, the London Midland livery won't be used as a replacement, because the London Midland, once you go back to a London Midland 350, they actually have slight variations in interiors and so forth, so you can't just repaint it in London Midland, you then have to make a bunch of model changes as well. It was something we looked at. And we may do a London Midland 350 at some point. We haven't got a plan for it at the moment, but it is something we've been talking about. But it's not going to be this. What you're seeing here is what it'll be launching as and staying as for the foreseeable future.
There was someone who asked about AI guards. Is there AI guards in guard
No.
mode?
Apparently
No, there's no AI guard. The conductor. So I get this question a few times: is what does conductor mode mean? Does that mean that you'll get an AI guard? No, conductor mode is what you do as in the role of the guard. As a driver, it works exactly the same as it always has.
The 158 thing and the 170 were just personal projects, weren't they, for people? I think I helped out with the 158 because I think they're asking about whether if you use the hotkeys, whether the guard can do the doors.
Oh right.
I think that's what they're asking about. Yeah, maybe in the future if I get some time one day, but not at the moment.
PBC stands for Power Brake Controller. It's the master controller. So
Yeah.
thing that does power and brake and does the controller.
Yeah.
Generation, yes, you can open the doors in guard mode. We'll show you that later
Next.
on in the stream.
Yeah, we're about
Once we finish this journey, then we're going to do a little bit of guard mode.
7 minutes. 7 minutes. 6
Oh,
minutes.
we haven't got long.
Not long to go.
I actually can't remember what the mastery is on this route. I suppose you've got that written down somewhere, James.
I have got that written down. I came prepared. It is.
As long as one of us does.
I know. Concrete cows at Milton Keynes, apparently.
Sounds exciting.
Yes. Sounds a solid one, doesn't it?
Terrible.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
GSMR is functional in this to the same extent of all of the other trains, to be honest. There's no difference, and there's no plans to change the level of GSMR functionality at this point.
Yeah.
No plans for a Virgin train spec. I'm not even sure how or if that is even possible.
Oh, someone's asked how do you change power on the 350 from going from Pendolino to third rail?
Yeah, so basically you have to be stopped because the controls are behind you. Yeah, so stop, put your reverser into neutral. I mean, you don't need it to be in neutral to drop the pantograph. That's a safety feature that is there, so you can drop the pantograph in any position. So yeah, drop the pantograph if you're going from AC to DC, into neutral. Press and hold DC. I think it doesn't really need holding, but hold it for a few seconds, and then move your Panto VCB switch to on, or up/on, and then yeah, should be in DC, and it will only drive if you've got a third rail.
Oh, very good.
And it's just the reverse for going back the other way.
Yes, we are going to run through Pendolino tonight. We're doing this on the 350 just to give you a tour of the 350 and of the route itself. We're going to do a bit conductor mode next. Then we'll do Pendolino, and then we're going to have a little run with the 710 on the Watford DC Lioness line.
In the gaming world, that's called building suspense.
Someone's asking, will it be on Game Pass Day 1? It will. Standard edition is on Game Pass Day 1.
Oh, this is an interesting one, Matt. How many hours on average does it take to produce a map such as this? That's a very interesting one.
Oh, I'd have to go and add that up. It's an enormous number. It's an enormous number. You have to remind me at some point, Jamie, to go and get an answer to that question in readiness for a future stream.
Yes, I'll make a note of that. That would be quite an interesting question to answer, that.
But you're broadly talking for, I don't know, 25, 30 people for 4 months? ish, just purely on the dev side. That doesn't take into account the marketing and creative teams, which also spend actually a lot of time on this stuff.
We do. Yeah. Me as well. As Callum was asking, when you're walking around like the 350 in game, does it feel like the real one that you've been?
Not for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm concentrating on approaching a red signal. Right. It's pretty accurate to me. Yeah, there's nothing really much more to say. It's been well modelled.
No, you can't change PIS yourself on the train aeronautic.
Yeah, this screen here is what does the PIS in reality. You basically have to put the head code in, and you can change the destination on this in reality, but it's quite a complex screen and would add a lot of dev time, which would be better spent in other places, from my own personal opinion.
Interesting. Will the Pendolinos have their names?
I don't think so, but let me double check that one to be sure. Sometimes the team add these things without telling me. Liam Ed, safety systems are over on the other side of the cab. If you go back to the beginning of the video, Daisy turned them all on manually.
Yeah. Yeah, they're key, aren't they? You turn them on with key.
Well, yeah.
The usual control enter shift enter also
Yeah,
works.
that works, yeah. Yeah, in reality you can't actually turn them on as a driver. They would already be automatically on. And if you isolated them, you then can't unisolate them. There's a little lock that engages and only a maintenance technician can actually unisolate it.
Very interesting.
Someone's asking about Unreal Engine versions. So this is the same version as TSW4. It's Unreal Engine 4.26.4, although albeit with about 1,000 customizations and changes to the core code of Unreal. Is the connected door working? If you mean the gangway door between 4 cars when you've got them coupled together to an 8, yes.
I've stopped short there for a reason, because as you can see there's a gangway on this train, so if you actually pulled up to where the stop marker is, you then couldn't see the signal. But to be fair, there is no stop marker on the platform. It's just where you stop. But yeah, because in case if the train was to carry on from here, then the driver would have to be able to see the signal and make sure, just to verify that the junction indicator is correct. Route indicator.
So then put on your DRA.
Yeah, good point. I mean, I haven't keyed out yet, but yeah, fair point.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yes, I should put on the DRA.
Yeah, which one are you doing guard mode next, Simon's GoPro?
Yeah.
There we go. And then if I continue, it's only sped once or twice. I did alright. That's not too bad.
That's still quite good. That's good.
It's better than Matt's anyway.
Not wrong, but...
Burn! Wow!
Right, so let's key out. Yeah, that'll do. Just go back the other way. So, yeah, here's the guards. This is one of the guards panels for the 350. Your door key switch is here. This basically enables this panel, or the panel you're stood at. and you turn it on, moving it one way, you turn it off, moving it the other way. What I'll do whilst the service is waiting to start is I'll demonstrate just a little quirk just so you can get used to using it. So turn the key switch on, press open the local door, step down, you check your train is fully accommodated in the platform. Step back on. Well, I mean, you don't have to if you've got long arms like me, you can just reach round, but release the doors. Now we'll just do this as a demonstration. The signal's still red, so we won't be going anywhere yet. But if we shut the doors then at departure time, making sure the signal's clear. Obviously we know it's not because it's not going anywhere. Make sure all the doors are shut. And now to actually get your local door to close, you have to close or turn the key switch off, and then to actually be able to use the bell buzzer or the signal bell, you have to turn the key switch back on, which is how you get the bell buzzer to work. So yeah, it does literally turn the key switch off, but that's how you work the guards control panel on a Class 350. Now just wait for the service to start.
Closed circuit television and remote
And you'll also notice the flashing exterior
safety and security.
door interlock light, body side indicator light. This basically just tells platform staff or other members of train crew where the guard is keyed in.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So on the 350 it's a bit strange because in some other situations it'll flash as well, like if a passenger communication alarm's been pulled, or if a cab door is open with all the train doors shut, it'll also flash then, and other bits and bobs.
While we're waiting, someone said, "Can we have a tour of train station?"
Of course. These are quite iconic to the West Coast Main Line South. I didn't turn my headlights off. I'm sure I turned the headlights off. Let's go. Yeah, so
15 seconds.
Hmm?
You've got 15
Oh,
seconds.
okay. This is Tring. Not really much to it. It's a fairly basic station. Yeah. And then we'll be lazy. We'll get the lift down.
Doors opening. Lift going down. Doors closing. Platform. Doors
Will Train Sim World ever get a
Lift
native
going
Linux
up.
version? No plans for that, I'm afraid. I think you can just use Proton on Linux and it works just as well.
Yes, Generation, you did see just working lifts at stations there. Do we know, Matt, which stations have got working lifts, or?
Not off the top of my head. Quite a few.
Milton Keynes, Tring, Watford. Off the top of my head, that's the ones I've seen working. I think there's a few more as well.
Yeah. I know that on San Bernardino the Cal State station has them. So they're dotted around. It's not just on one route and in one place. They're dotted around.
Mark said, "That's the fastest lift I've ever seen, if real ones went that fast."
Yeah, you may end up splatting your head off the roof if the real one went that fast. But,
Well, it's like in game. Your walking speed is about 20 miles an hour.
yeah.
Because in reality, walking at walking speed drove everyone completely crazy when we first built the game.
So a good guard will shut the doors 30 or just a little bit more seconds before departure. Make sure you get a punctual departure. So signals clear. You can see at the end of the platform. And let's shut the local door. hopefully we should start moving.
Open the doors, close them again.
Okay.
You got ahead of it because
Yeah.
it's in tutorial mode. The first 2 stops.
I did see one question about has there been any updates to the passengers?
No.
Yeah, we'll have to start that.
All right. Start it from the menu, which also means we can show you what it looks
Yeah.
like from the menu as well.
Yeah, remember this is work in progress. It's not finished yet.
The engineer on this has been working on a couple of bugs on this today.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we do it from the menu so we could see? So when you select the 350 like that.
So you see those ticket icons that have been added there. Those are guardable services or conductable services. So like for example, a depot move wouldn't be a conductable service. So if you pick a service, click get started, you'll get this icon, this box comes up. You can either drive it as a driver or operate as a conductor.
Here we go.
But yeah, for your first couple of stops, go at the pace of the prompts.
Yeah.
This is why there's an option to turn it off.
Confused as to why we're over here now.
And I've got a few requests to slow down. You're an expert at this, everybody.
Okay.
Nobody
Sorry.
can keep up.
Everybody's like, slow down!
Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
I've got long legs, so I'm just used to walking really quickly and just doing everything super quick.
Oh yeah, someone was asking about the station PIS boards. Can we have a look at those
Yeah.
as well? There we are.
Passengers are at all stations and on all train services. This includes e-cigarettes.
Oh, there's a little delivery robot. We can do that whilst we're waiting.
There you go, there's one of the delivery robots.
There we are.
Hey. There we go.
We're off. There we are.
Now, what you
Nobody
should
got
do...
on at that stop, so you've got no tickets to check.
Yeah, good. So yeah, what you're supposed to do is wait by the door control panel until the train has fully left the platform. Because if you see anything through the admittedly not great view, you can signal the driver or stop the train yourself. In reality, that is. There we go. And then, yeah, have a wander up and down the train.
No one wanted to get on.
Nobody at all. rush hour service into London. I think they must have just forgot this one existed. So yeah, it's a fine art to be able to walk through a train when it's going around corners such as these without landing in somebody's lap. Yeah. You can sit in the back cab and play the horn like I do.
There will be passengers trains in London. Different people get on at different times, and they all and that's what did we do at this point? No one got on the train, so there's no one to check. It's random. I've made a note about the comment about the driver buzzing back. I'm not sure why that isn't in there, but I'll mention it to the team. It won't be changed for launch, but it will be something I'll ask for them to add later on.
Yeah, and also because isn't it different things for the different routes as well? So isn't it like in is it San Bernardino is different there as well?
So the process for conductor mode is different on the German routes, the US routes, and the UK routes. They've got slightly different processes. So and that's captured in there as well. So yeah, there's. We'll cover that as we get onto those routes. Though.
One thing I didn't explain as well, with the cabin equipment lights here, there's a little prompt just under it. If I turn the actual switch on, if I press the prompt here, what happens in reality is you push down to turn the cab lights on. So there's like a secondary prompt to actually get the cab lights on. There are switches on the back, buttons on the back wall as well, to do that. But yeah, the lights are these switches are a bit finicky in reality. They sometimes don't work properly, so you end up bashing them quite hard. And yeah, to enable the non-driver side wiper, it's this button here.
Pendolino will not have guard mode at launch. We'll look at adding it later. We've been focusing on where the gameplay is more interesting for guard mode, and the Pendolino, with not very many stops, is kind of a whole lot of waiting around. They will get it, and we are going to add it, but it's not coming for day one.
Yeah, if you had a full train worth of people tickets to check, it might get a little tedious after a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, the guard actually, for most of the Pendolino services, in reality, the guard won't buzz the driver because there are platform staff who give a signal to the driver to depart via a signal or platform mounted indicator, which is the RA you sometimes see in stations in England.
How do you know you're approaching a station where you can kind of tell it's...
Yeah, in reality it's route knowledge. You know, the driver starts braking, but you'd know where it is just based on route knowledge.
I don't have route knowledge and I've never had a problem, I've got to be honest. The driver slows down, you know. So if you're looking out the window, it's really, really obvious that you're coming into a station. It's not like when you need to predict a braking a mile ahead and you just have to look and say, oh, there's a platform next to it. If you're going to fall asleep, that's different. But I don't think guards commonly fall asleep, so...
You hope not, anyway.
There's no announcements on the platforms or the trains, no. $25 tickets to check. Well, this will be fun.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It gets a bit tedious after a while in reality.
Yeah.
If I've got an 8-carriage train to check, it's I can start somewhere like Wolverhampton or no, actually going the other way. I start at Birmingham International. It'll take me all the way to Northampton, which is a good 45 minutes to check the entire train. So yeah, this is quite it's a lot more fun experience. I wish people would have these indicators above their heads in reality. It make finding who I need to check a lot easier. So so yeah, here we go. person just got out at Berkhamsted. The date today is the 29th, and it will use your current date, I believe.
The date that you entered into the journey mode, into service mode at?
Yes.
So whatever date you selected there.
Yeah, and
It's
we're going
today.
to Watford Junction, which is a stop on this standard class.
What if you miss checking their ticket? So if they get off the train before you've checked them, you get a penalty on your score.
Berkhamsted, Harrow, Euston. Yeah. I'm going to have to do this one quickly just to make sure I don't miss everybody. Watford Junction. There's a bag that we need to move.
Yeah, and part of your function is safety for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tidying up the corridors, making sure it's all safe.
Yeah. Oh, that's out of date.
Well, that's an
so-
out-of-date ticket.
Nope, you'll have to get off.
Naughty.
Yeah, naughty, naughty.
You get extra points if you spot an invalid ticket as well. And you lose a lot of points if you get it wrong.
Yeah.
So it is worth paying the time, spending the time to figure it out.
So Rugby North Junction. It's not even a real station name, so of course I reckon that's fraud. That is. Have you?
Inkjet printers are a dangerous thing.
Maidley? Nope.
Everybody will get off. Don't worry. It says what would happen if people do not get off when they've been asked to. That's not a problem. Everybody is very civilised except for having the wrong ticket.
Oh, I just got wrong one then. I wasn't concentrating. Well, apparently I've missed two. One. Where's the other one?
I am always
Probably
missing
right
at
to
least
the
one.
upper. I've done that before, where you've turned
Yeah.
round and not they're there.
Where are they?
Quick, before the doors open, quick.
Well, it was me opening the doors. This is good.
Well, yeah, that is very true.
Oh,
Okay,
there.
right.
Aha.
Oh, there they are.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fine.
What happens if you've not checked all the tickets for the next stop? Not a problem. It only matters if they get off the train.
Yeah.
You're the one controlling the doors. Oh, someone looked at you funny then.
Yep, this one's got working left as well.
There we go. Right, shall we move on to the three, to the
90.
Pendolino? Yeah, 390.
Yeah, let's go for
Yeah.
the Pendolino then.
Let's go. I need to double check which service it was again very quickly. It was the 9:14.
The /0 and the /1, one is 9 car, one is 11 car. Someone asked in the questions, are they swappable? That some others you pick which whether you want the 11 car and it works. No, they're different sets of services. Because you can't swap different lengths of trains in TSW anyway. If it's a 9 car train, it will always be a 9 car train. Are there any plans to backport this mode into previous route? No plans as such, but we have we've already made some progress in that. This feature was originally developed on the Birmingham cross country route, so I couldn't say for sure when we're going to actually release that, but we've got it kind of done on the Birmingham cross country route, and we also experimented because of the features with it on the Class 170 on 5 circle. So we are looking at how it can be brought to earlier routes as well. but no plans at this point. It's shipping on these routes to start off with, and we'll confirm when other routes might get it. But just to let you know, there are a couple of examples where we have already started looking.
So, welcome to the Pendolino. I just set up the cab there. There's a few extra steps on the 390. In reality, if you put the reverser straight into neutral, you'll actually break the tilting system on the train. The train has to be put into direction from off straight away, and left there for a little while, whilst you acknowledge all the different things. You'll see there. I acknowledge the automatic warning system and TPWS self-test first, and then I acknowledge the alarm for the three indicators there, which is still not available, speed reduction and pantograph tilt fault, and then after a short delay the other three fault testers came in and asked to acknowledge the alarms for the test of those. So that's pantograph not housed, vehicle overload and brake fault. So you acknowledge those with this one, and then the tilting system intervention warning reset alarm is basically another self-test system, which you can do as part of the setup of the cab. All can be done through the usual safety system is an acknowledge key.
Or the B button on your controller, or is it the circle, I think, on the PlayStation? Before we set off, can we have just a walk around the train?
Of course. Let's just get the... So we're in the...
It's a kitchen, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the kitchen area, there we are.
This is always first class, where the... you go. So actually, they did a really nice risotto when I last travelled in first class on Avanti. Very nice risotto. So yeah, here's the exterior. You saw earlier that the destination indicators do work, but I think this is just a
gap between the train and the platform.
bit of disparity at the moment with the dev build and the build that we've got shown here. You can also hear the really, really annoying fridge fan that if you're sat by it, you'll get a headache by the time you got off the train.
No plans to add a chef mode, no. But this is all the new interior refurb with the wireless charging desks on the tables as well.
When they work.
I'm sure they're flawless.
It does really feel like being on one though, looking at all this.
Yeah.
I've been on them a few times and you sort of can sense it, but yeah, it's quite an impressive interior.
Quickly run to the shop and then head back to the...
Yeah, because there was a question about wanting to see the shop.
It's all empty, nobody in there. The train manager's office is blacked off because there's a lot of detail there. It's similar to the toilets, really. It's a lot of detail there to be putting in for if you can't really do anything in there. The only things that are really in there are controls for the train management system and the CCTV. It's where the train manager or guard would sit during a journey. Should we get moving?
Yes.
Control 0. Let's go. Okay. We have a signal. Let's shut some doors.
Yeah, there is the hill start function as well, which you use the brake apply key
Yes,
for.
that's
Yeah,
correct.
same on the controller. Hill start holds the brake on while you put the power on, so that you don't roll backwards.
Train Simulator drivers joined. Hello, how are we?
A weird quirk about Euston Station is every single platform is 25 miles an hour, which during development there was a bit of disparity. Nobody actually believed this fact, but yeah, we got it in there eventually. But yeah, the entirety of Euston Station is 25 miles per hour, and this it's kind of be quite scary actually. If you're arriving into the platform, it's basically to make sure that they don't block up the. It's called the throat. It's where all the lines converge on approach to Euston, to get the trains in and out of the platforms as quick as possible. But if you have your TPWS on, if you play with safety systems on, make sure you slow down before the buffer stops, because otherwise TPWS will get you.
Request for the horn. Yeah, there is suspension on this.
Yes. You can turn the air conditioning off. It takes a little while to run down, but it does work. The GSMR isn't working in this at the moment, but it does work in the dev build, so hopefully it'll be, if it's not in for release, it'll be in for day one patch, I think.
I'll go and find out.
Yeah.
Release build. These builds are always a little bit behind devs.
Someone said we did have one question about, does the train management system work on the 390?
You can do little bits on it. There's not a lot you can do. You can change
you
it.
can click on it to zoom it up.
Yes. So here you go. You
You've
can
got
change.
eco mode and boost mode as well, haven't
Yeah.
you?
Oh. Yeah. But yeah. Change it between boost mode and eco mode. There's not a lot you can do. There's not a lot you can do in reality, really. Like, from the driver's point of view, there's not a lot.
And can you sort of spec? Is there cruise control? Can you set the speed on it
Yes.
as well?
So
That's
if
that
you
speed up button, yeah.
speed set button there. So you've got to make sure your power brake controller is in the power range, and then you can press speed set.
Yeah.
We'll show you that when we get a little bit further into the route.
Someone's asked, when you depart Watford Junction, can we have a third person? Is when we get outside.
Sorry?
You know.
Third
Yeah,
person.
they want an outside
Okay.
shot of the train
Outside,
leaving.
sorry, yeah, third person. No, yeah, mate, no side. So
Will the free starter pack include West Coast Main Line and 390? No, you want the Deluxe Edition for the West Coast Main Line and 390. Standard is the free starter pack is just the training centre with the 4 training centre versions of trains that it comes with. There's pre-order discounts on now as well, so if you want standard or deluxe edition, then they're cheaper at the moment than they will be after launch. Are any of the Class 390 sounds sourced from Train Sim Classic? Not that I'm aware of. No, like I said, the audio team went out and got a full recording set of everything except running sounds and traction motors from the Pendolino, Wolverhampton, I think it was.
Oxley in Wolverhampton.
Yeah, and they couldn't get traction motors and running sounds because that needs a mainline trip, which Avanti weren't able to arrange. For the traction motors and running sounds, it was a case of finding similar sounds and then spending a lot of time manipulating those sounds to sound like the real thing as closely as possible. The digital speedo is not a digital speedo, it's a force meter, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, brake force for the dynamic brake effort.
Yeah, that's a brake force meter, that's not a speedometer. And it does work.
There's a funny story from the railway world about Pendolinos. Coming from Birmingham towards London, there's a section of track where the line speed drops from, I think it's 125 down to 120, and the trains are usually in heading into London. The kitchen is at the front of the train, so every now and again, if you've got a nice chef or whatever, the chef may have some leftover breakfast food, so like, you know, bacon, sausage, eggs, etc. And this one driver was asked if he wanted some leftovers from the breakfast run, where, you know, nobody else left to be served. So they took this platter of food up to the driver, and the driver put it on this bit here, balanced it on the top, and put the brake in just one notch of brake, just to drop the speed from 125 to 120, and that was just enough to have the food slip all the way to the front of the windscreen. Now it doesn't look very far, but this driver wasn't exactly very tall, so unfortunately, arriving into Euston, there was just a platter of eggs, sausage, and bacon up against the windscreen. Which was, yeah.
Very funny to see.
There's no change to the free camera speed. That is something that I'm still looking at. I've got a number of things I want to do with the cameras at some point, but I want to get that fixed, but it's not fixed in this.
When we get to a nice curve, can we have a quick look at photo mode as well?
Yeah.
Show,
remind me how you do that, because I haven't used photo mode yet.
This will do, actually. We're on the curve shift space.
Shift space. There we go.
So this is the update to photo mode. So you can move the camera around, same as you could. The difference is that you've got a motion blur option. So if you get yourself a nice action shot, go in there and then hit the motion blur option. It's only a subtle effect. It's faked because when you're in the game is paused, and that's the problem. So there is no motion. There is no motion to blur. So it's sort of a faked effect. If you now go over to the second option, then you'll see the this is the handling of depth of field and focal point. I think has been improved in this version as well. The beta testers have been taking some absolutely stunning shots. You've got the new grain effect and sepia effect that you've got on the bottom there, so you can add different visual effects to the picture. That one's an on or an off. And then if you go into the last one, you can now mess with where the sun is, what time of the year it is, what time of day it is. You can change the weather. It'll update when you release the mouse because of the problem of doing it dynamically was challenging. But it means you can find those gorgeous skies and do that. And then if you want to add some fog in, you can do that. You can put some snow on the ground. There's all sorts of things you can do to find that great shot. And if that train wasn't in quite the right place, you can click the advance button, which will let the train run just briefly, so that you can now so that if, let's say for example you're doing a passing shot and then you did it a little bit too early, you press the button and it'll let it run a bit. Someone has asked, can you have a rewind shot? And no, the point is this is just unpausing the game briefly. You can't wind the time back. So you've got a lot of cool options. And then, so if you line your shot up and we'll take that shot, press the space bar. and then save, okay, and then press escape, and you'll find that the world is put back to exactly how it was when you left it. So you can get creative with your photos, and it doesn't have any impact on the game that you're playing at that point. So it's what we, again, I think this is what this is finding, is the beta team that have been obviously playing this a lot have been able to find those great skies, find those great weathers, find those great shadows, rather than just having to wait for them to come up in the session that they're playing. They can just have that really nice shot and then just make the world move around it.
Someone's asked for the horn again. Can we have some horn action? Yeah, the cab has got quite a few buttons. As I said, all the buttons, it's got quite a few.
It's like a spaceship.
It is, yeah. I remember one of the first sort of memories I've got of the Pendolino is when they were doing the world record attempt with it, I think. It was a DVD we got free in the magazine years ago. The driver's eye view, I think they did 140 or something.
Yeah, well, these things were built for 140, but then the infrastructure was never upgraded to support the 140, so they're stuck at 125.
Yeah, you'll notice the square panel here. There's hope in the future to replace that panel with a ERTMS or ETCS display screen. So in theory, that if they wanted to in the future, if the infrastructure was put to an available speed, they could upgrade them to 140 again. I say upgrade them. They can do 140 now. It's just there's nothing stopping it apart from one of the safety systems will stop you if you get too fast.
Yes, and does that slow you down? The safety systems in here as well.
Yeah. So if you go over speed, it'll basically put a full service brake application on.
No, neutral sections aren't implemented. In modern trains, they're all automatic in how it's handled anyway, but there's no neutral sections implemented on the route.
Someone's asked for a flyby shot.
So as the train tilts, as you can see here, the countergraph is counter-tilting, so that it remains upright to the countergraph. Wow.
Oh, I appear to have dropped it into emergency there by accident. Oops. Pushed a little bit too hard.
You're
when I was
doing
braking.
so well.
I was trying to focus on the 110 approaching, and I just pushed it a little bit too hard. Should come off in a second. That's a good excuse to get some audio outside anyway.
They're all asking if I'm actually the one driving.
So the Pendolinos, the traction motors aren't on the bogies, the trucks if you're American. They're driven from a different traction motor just underslung in the body, and it's used by what's known as a cardan shaft that basically takes the rotation and turns it into a different orientation of rotation. So yeah, got those models as well.
No, Pendolinos don't have a diesel mode, Fabian.
Cabs Cab, no, I didn't know it had a Camden shaft either. I thought the
Carden.
transformation as well.
Carden.
Carden, even. Thank
The
you.
steps do
Yeah.
pop out. You'll see that when we get to Watford. Very shortly, in fact. This is where the Watford DC line, the Lioness line, goes off by a little detour before it rejoins us again shortly at Watford.
Someone was asking, can you change the PIS manually on this one, on 390?
No.
We're stopping here, aren't we?
Yes. Still got a little way to go yet.
I'm always under braking all the time these days because I'm so paranoid about missing stations. Everyone's been so kind and graceful and let me forget about it, you see.
Nebworth.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's the other. Can you bring like the front, the coupling to come out? To the
Yeah.
front?
Yeah, you can lower the coupling hood. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that when we get to Watford.
Can that be used as a drag as well? Can you use the?
Didn't someone on the beta show a screenshot of
Yeah,
it being
I-
hauled by a ROG 37?
Yeah, I'm not sure how well it'll work, but
I seem to think it was working. It wasn't. I'm surprised. I don't think it will work with
Yeah.
anything, and the setup team thought it wouldn't work with anything.
Yeah.
Because in reality, they don't work with very much anyway.
no.
And in fact, one of the we were able to get the audio of like the front opening and so forth, and they didn't know if that would work properly because apparently sometimes they open and then don't close again because they really don't use them very much these days.
No, they were only really used when they were being taken down to Holyhead.
And when there used to be the 57s hauling
Yes.
them, weren't they?
The Thunderbird locos.
Yeah.
But these days they don't, and they don't couple pendos to pendos. So
No. The actual couple and uncouple buttons don't even work in reality. They're actually disconnected, so you couldn't actually couple two trains together.
Mm.
So when you actually have a, let me see if I can open the coupler. There we go. Yeah. So when you'd open the coupler hatch in reality to rescue a Class 390, if you were to couple two together, what would happen is these electrical boxes, once they've coupled, would meet together to form an electrical connection. But that doesn't happen because, as I say, they've been disconnected. This little lever here is what they use to couple and uncouple the locomotives. And you'll find as well there's little air hoses inside that they connect the air system to.
Interesting.
If I get back in, and then basically what you do is you change this to the setting on whichever loco.
remember, we want an external shot as we depart.
Yes.
Use the 8 camera.
Yeah.
Shut the doors.
Oh, can we show the steps
The steps.
and the doors?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, show that first. Look at that.
favourite looking trains. And I really like this livery, it has to be said.
Yeah, suits it well.
We're not going to be running the 377 today, no. It kind of looks like all the other 377s.
Someone had asked about the off-world destinations.
I need to go and double check what the situation is with those. I think that, from what I recall, it should tell you where it's ultimately going, but doesn't have all the intermediates that are off-world. Off-route. Off-route is probably a more appropriate way of saying it. Because at all points, you will remain on Earth. Wiper movement. No, these have got funky movement, haven't they?
Oh yeah, they are very funky. Look at that. But they weren't easy to time, were they?
Can you disable the tilting? I can't remember. In reality you can, but I don't know if we've got an option to do that.
Not sure. I know the...
Make a note, Jamie, for me to get an answer.
Yeah, we'll make a note of that one. You've got my pins and things. There was another one I needed to make a note of, wasn't there?
Off-road destinations.
Off-route, that's right. Off-route. What was the other one you just said, sorry? Oh, turning tilt off. We hear me.
I think the Pendolino is a scenario without tilting, isn't it? Isn't that kind of the point?
Yeah.
I'm just going based on the name.
I've not actually done any scenarios. I've been too busy doing the setup side of things.
You use the crew door to get on and off the Pendolino. So yes, it does work.
377 doesn't have a guard panel, I don't think.
No, someone actually, when we had the ambassadors down for a visitor day, someone asked me about the 710 and when that would be getting guard mode. And I said I'd look into it, and then it dawned on me afterwards that they're DOO. There is no guard on those. There is no guard facilities on those.
No, they could do them from the back cab, but that would be the only place they could actually control the doors from.
So no, the 710 won't be getting guard mode. The 350 obviously has it. We'll add it to the 390.
The 377s do have guards on some services, but they close the doors only. But it would be a lot of work to add the... I think there's a few panels on the 377, but it would be a lot of internal work to remodel the train. For just 2 buttons and a key switch.
Regarding Series S, last I saw performance was actually running pretty well. Memory is a problem. Jamie, can you remind me to go and find out whether it runs the Gen 9 timetable or whether it's running the Gen 8 timetable? We quite often put the Gen 8 timetable on Series S because it's usually starved for memory. Because it's got less memory than an Xbox One X, and yet it's running high definition textures and models and so forth.
Made a note. I must admit, going in the cab and seeing it tilting, it's very
Jason
interesting.
says Series S is Gen 9. There you go. Thank you, Jason. Sorry, Jamie, carry on.
I was just saying how interesting seeing all the tilt function, you know, sitting in the cab and seeing it all tilt. It looks brilliant.
We have no plans at the moment to modify Glossop to add additional trains. The same for Birmingham. No plans to add it for that. Cathcart will have it from day one. It will have the additional because it's already got them. They're just waiting to be activated. Which console performs better? I'm not going to get into console wars. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X are both blazingly good machines. The Series S is obviously inferior, but then it's also half the price. Yeah. If you've got a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, you're not losing. They're both really good machines.
Do we know what the total service count is?
I don't know.
And someone says, is the tilt base position on the base or the radius position on the route or based on the radius of the corner?
It's currently set to velocity, I believe. So velocity of how hard you hit a corner.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, so
I know somebody says it has VT on the TMS. This is actually correct. VT is actually the National Rail Inquiry's 2-letter code for which the train operator is. So regardless of if an operator changes hands, for example, West Midlands Trains, or WMR or LNWR, is still LM for London Midland. Avanti is a VT, which used to be Virgin Trains. There's a few different ones that you'll, if National Rail Inquiry still shows as the operator code, and that's why it says VT.
What diesel version are you expecting, TC Mark? There's no diesel Pendolino. Not unless you know something I don't. Mark Hazeldine, route hopping and route extensions have got nothing to do with each other. One doesn't help the other or hinder the other. Route hopping is a bit of fun that lets you stay in the experience. When you finish one journey and you want to try something else, you can just hop to go over to do something different. It doesn't make any difference about whether or not extensions might happen in the future. I don't think we have any plans for any route extensions, but that hasn't changed because of route hopping, and neither will it.
I think also with the route you've had quite a lot of support from all sorts of, like Daisy's helped, haven't they, as well? You've had different.
Daisy's done a lot of work helping and advising with this one. We always, with every route we make, we work with external developers as well as the internal team. This is no different. But Daisy's put an awful lot of time into advising with her knowledge of the route and the train in particular, which has been invaluable.
It's not just that. So if I don't know, I've luckily got some contacts I can just press on for information. Because I have people who I know who sign or used to sign the Pendolino, and yeah, they've been a great help. Doing consultation for Dovetail has become almost a second. Well, it is essentially a second job.
There are no Kilburn High Road reverse moves with the 72 stock, no.
JJ Gaming, yeah, there's some of the stations have lifts. I think we haven't got the full list. We'll see if we can. I'll make a note of that and see if we can find out the full list of all the lifts each station.
When we get to Milton Keynes, can we fast travel back to Euston?
Yeah.
There's been a request to see fast travel in action.
Or we could fast travel to Watford and then, or Harrow, and take one from Harrow to.
Yeah, if we fast travel to Harrow, we were going to do the 7:10 from Harrow, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds good.
Yeah, good idea.
Richie Rail, that's what we're looking at next.
We have
Get some
another
external shots as well.
Yeah. I'd like to get your fingers caught in there.
No, not that speed. Super has asked, do we need any train driver to offer advice similar to what Daisy has? If so, we'd be happy to help. I think Matt will always
Ping us a
offer
DM. I'm always happy to speak to people who've got genuine experiences and insight that they can share. Yeah, send me a DM on the forums. Thank you. Matt, will you have working toilets in the future? No. I think I can answer that one quite categorically.
What would you expect to go from a working toilet? Like,
What does working toilet mean?
what does working toilet
That's
mean?
horrifying. You may be looking for a different game. How does the pantograph cope with tilt? Oh, let's go and have a look at the pantograph. The pantograph copes with tilt by counter-tilting in the other direction, and that is all animated. You see it rotate to animate the way that it's moving there.
It's still vertical, but the train is doing a full left 8 degree tilt.
Oh, look at that! There you go. Whee! Look at that. That's amazing. I didn't even know they did that. I mean,
The ICET does it as well. Yeah.
The what? Sorry.
The ICET does it as well. We'll be showing that as well.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
I think it's got a different way of doing it than this one, but yeah, it does it.
Does the set speed include braking downhill? I'm guessing it would do.
I think it does a dynamic brake, but not air
It's
braking.
not cruise control.
Yeah.
It's usually used to just hold the speed where it's at, but as with anything like this, you're still driving the train, you're responsible for maintaining the speed. It's not like AFB, which tries quite hard to maintain the speed.
Yeah, so don't forget, it's not that long until TSW5 as well. So launches on the 17th. If you want early access for Deluxe and Special Edition, that's on the 12th. I'll go through all the other details. And don't forget, there's a free starter pack as well. I can put some, there's some FAQs. I think they're in the description. If not, I can put them in the chat. And there's also different bundles and bits and pieces which we went through at the start. We'll go through them at the end as well. And also people have been asking whether the West Coast Main Line will be available separately and whether the Pendolino will be available separately. Yes, they will. So the West Coast Main Line regional plaque will be $29.99 and the Pendolino separately will be $14.99. Just mention them while we...
Probably got at least 16 feet in front of the train.
Just like you turn the camera around, it's gone! Ah.
We'll have a quick scroll of the timetable once we go back. Jamie, can you remind us?
Yes, yeah. We were doing a fast travel, weren't we? So after we've done the fast travel with 7:10,
Yeah.
we'll then have a quick look at the timetable.
Guard mode is only on West Coast Main Line in the 350. It is on San Bernardino in the Rotems and the Bombardiers, and it's on the German route in the BR114 and the Dostos. It will be added to other trains over time, and potentially back to older routes, but it's not on automatic things. There's a fair bit of work got to be done to add guard mode into a particular route. I think we are going to have a short run at night time as well, so you can see a run. We're going to do a short run out of Euston at night time, or into Euston, one of the two.
I know there was one question about Pantgrass. Which one is normally raised on the 390?
The rear. So if you're in the direction of travel, basically they put the rear one up because if the driver were to spot something on the overhead electric live wires, overhead line equipment, they could basically drop the pantograph before the pantograph would hit it, essentially.
Oh, interesting.
If it was the front one, it's rare to see the front one raised, but that's the main reason, is just to allow a bit of wiggle room just in case anything were to happen.
And I'm also guessing the max speed is higher than the track speed, because obviously, as you said, it can do 140.
Yeah.
No, you can't do 140.
No, the train can.
The train can.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah, you won't be going 140
No.
unless you break the speed limit.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like GNT on the ICET, for example, where it gives you enhanced speeds.
Yeah.
Crew door.
Ticket checks are in operation at this station. Please have your tickets available for inspection.
Right, shall we fast travel down to
Yeah.
Harrow then. So
Yes.
you can either fast travel here by using those. Let's just do 2 fast travels. Go
Yeah.
to Watford first,
Yep.
and then we'll do it the other way.
Let's just see where there is a train. Where is Harrow? It's there. No.
We should put labels on so you can see.
Hatch End.
Harrow and Euston's further down. It's the other side of
Yeah.
Euston.
There it is. So yeah, you can click on the route map to use that. So I can't see a train there yet. So hopefully. Coming. There's one coming all the way. There's one, isn't there? Oh no, that's a tube.
Tube train.
Tube train.
Luggage left unattended may be removed without warning or
Okay.
destroyed or
Well, we'll fast travel and then we'll
But you'll show you the 2 fast travels, then we'll come
Yeah.
back out to the menu. That way we can get to a train without having to wait.
yeah.
So you can click on it on the 2D map, and it'll just take you to the station.
Yeah.
And that's the train that was hanging around in there. You were asking to see a 377. There's a
There's
377.
a 377.
Complete with a spiky bit at the top. And then the other thing that you can do is you can press Shift F, or on the controller you hold the left button and press Y, I think, and you can pop up this. This is all keyboard accessible as well, and then you can jump to somewhere using that pop-up screen as well. And that will take you to another part of the route. And this is not restarting the session. This is with the session exactly as it was. We're just literally moving to that place there. Now, I guess the other thing we can look at is if you fast travel to Harrow again,
Yeah.
and then we'll try route hopping onto Bakerloo Line.
Okay. Should we drive the 710 first?
No, we'll go
Okay.
back to the menu to find our 710.
Alright. So.
Should have been where you spawned.
Oh, sorry.
There it is. Press E to hop. Bakerloo Line. Arrow Wellstone. Press go. Which timetable do you want? Because the multiple timetables, what do you want to go into? So we'll go 2021. Select that, and then it will fade you out and load the route.
That's really cool. Look at that. And as if by magic. Ta-da.
You press the 9 key, you can then verify that you're on the Bakerloo Line now and not on the East Coast Main, on the West Coast Main Line.
Yep.
There you go. So this is the Bakerloo Line now. So you've switched routes. As I said, Bakerloo Line won't be getting its route hop points for a little bit after launch. We'll give you more updates on when that comes. It will be getting them, and they're already in dev version, but they're behind some fixes that we're in the middle of doing at the moment.
Yeah, can we have a look at the, just have a quick look at the timetable as well of that,
Yeah.
how many services?
$690.
Just have a quick slow scroll. If you pick the 350 and just slow scroll the services list. So as I said, where there's a ticket, that means it can also be guarded. Obviously, everything that can be driven. If it's got the ticket symbol, then it can you can use conductor mode on it as well, a bit faster.
You'll notice the ones that haven't got tickets on them are just empty carriage movements. The 5 at the start of the head code is an indicator that it's an empty train. Yeah. We've got services from 1 a.m. all the way through to just after midnight.
Let's have a look at the Pendolino. This is the /1 timetable, so this is what you get for the /1. So a range of different length services. You've got depot services, you've got stoppers, you've got some expresses. And let's look at the 377.
Just,
Oh yeah, this is the other
This is the other one.
390 timetable.
and that's the train I'll... oh wait, no. My train isn't on there. Oh no, that's why it's at the top of the list. I think on the other one. That's the train I'll be catching, hopefully. 23, 28.
377.
Yes.
So these are Clapham, Watford, Watford, East Croydon,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. So about 15-minute runs. And then lastly the 710, and let's pick one.
Yes. We'll go from Watford to Harrow, I think.
Sounds good. Let's do it sort of morning rush time, 7, 8 o'clock. That'll do. So the 710 is from the Suffragette line. It's not included in West Coast Main Line and hasn't had any changes. It doesn't have suspension for that same reason. Yeah, this is added in as a layer. So if you own Suffragette line, then you'll be able to run the Lioness line, or what I used to call the Watford DC line. It's complete end to end.
Yeah, whilst we're waiting, just have a quick look around the... There's a defibrillator.
Yeah. There are two types of defibrillator collectible. You've got ones on a post and ones that are screwed into the wall. Thou shalt not.
There's the,
There's a lot coming through there.
yeah, I'm just trying to work out if I can get to it. I don't think I can. That'll do. There we go. There's Watford. There's not really much to it. Oh, not in uniform. Eating a sandwich in front of passengers. Disgraceful colleague behaviour. There
Oh,
we go.
yeah.
Oh, it's because I got my cab door open. That'll be why.
Naughty. It's even covered in the training centre now, reminding you to close that. Because that comes up so often. Even just with me. I mean, I'm doing it all the time. Everyone does it. It's such an easy mistake to make. Control 0 will teleport you back to the last train seat you were sitting in. There's no equivalent, unfortunately, on consoles, which is something I want to fix in the future, but I don't have a plan for that yet. We've talked about toilets, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Adam. The answer is never, ever, 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 and maybe a bit after that even.
Big capitals, man.
N-O.
The
Summer
390.
Tinsy-
Go on, you go.
Yeah. No, it's alright. I was going to say, yes, it is going to be available separately as soon as launch as well.
Yeah, just from day one it'll be available.
Yeah.
Always remember to do your running brake test. Check how good your train's brakes are.
It's a good rule for every train, to be honest. I find it really useful on freight trains as well, because you never know quite how that one's going to behave based on its weight. Yeah, it's a good rule for every train. How much does it stop?
That's one thing we always do with the steam locos in the yard. We always do a brake test with them before we even move off shed.
Yeah, I mean, doing one on stationary is good if you've got the ability to, but for most electronic multiple units and diesel multiple units, you should do one when you get up to about 25, 30 mile an hour. Just drop your speed by about 10. And
I don't think Pendo Speedset has a button on the controller, Tintin. Ping me and ask and DM me, and I'll see if I can get you an answer to that question. But I don't think it does. I've not tried running the Bakerloo line trains between Harrow and Watford. I'm going to say I don't think it will work, but stranger things have happened. I mean, if you write a scenario, plan a scenario, put it off the rails, you can do anything you like.
Because that's what they originally used to do, is that right? Am I thinking that right?
a very, very, very long time ago, yeah.
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 Which is why some of the third rail's still there, but it's just collapsed, and because the ceramic pots have just either been stolen or just been used elsewhere.
Dominica says, Daisy, you're the best Digi train driver. So you're doing very well. You're doing very well.
I saw the rest of his comment as well, and I'm going to refuse to do any more streams because I'm not a very good driver.
What was the rest
Sorry,
of the
Jane.
comment? What was the rest of the comment?
From a standing start, if you applied full power, would it wheel spin? No, modern EMUs have got wheel slip protection.
I mean, it'll still try to slip, but yeah, they
it'll try, but it's got stuff in there to try and stop it doing that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it is Tintin. It's like you get with the West Coast Main Line, you get with this, you get sort of like an extra branch line, really, don't you? With this
Yeah.
section.
Yeah, I mean, in Monty, I spent a bunch of time. No, not Monty. Somebody else mentioned about the variety of this, and I spent some time driving this before the 350 was drivable, and the contrast between the two is quite notable. Partly because the 710 drives differently, obviously, but also just the different stopping patterns and this little bit at the end where you're going in a different direction entirely. It's it almost feels like you've got another extra route there to drive.
Always try to carry a bottle of water with you. If you feel faint, seek help at the next station.
All dear Tangle. Ah, saying.
I saw those
Matt,
fighting
you-
words. I saw those fighting words.
I need more practice, Matt. Oh dear.
I'm missing all that. I'm going to have to watch the stream back and see what was said.
You see all the scathing messages. Are you being told off, Matt? I think.
Oh, I'm always getting told off.
So yeah, you can see here there's some extra fourth rail stuff, and that's just that's remnants of a bygone era.
Yes, it's not running 25 kV for some reason. Because when this train was built, it was set up to work on DC, but that top right on the left-hand screen there, you can see the pantograph is down. The icon is showing it's down, but it's still showing the 25 kV.
Yeah.
We have a ticket in the system to try and take a look at that, but I don't know when we'll get to that. But it is running on DC. Pantograph is down.
Yeah, you'd see like a shoe there instead of the pantograph, and I think it's been looked into.
System specs for TSW5 same as predecessors. Yeah, no change there. You can fast travel from anywhere to anywhere, F1 fan.
Someone's asked approach control signalling implemented.
Yeah, it is.
Ultramata X, we've got a couple of things I think people would like to see, so I think we're going to show, so we're going to probably just finish off this last bit of 710.
We're just running the 710 to Harrow, and then I think we'll do a short nighttime run.
Yeah, that was right, yeah.
Has to be said, the night lighting isn't finished on the route yet. There's a couple of changes went in today as well, but assume it's like this and it'll be better. There's been a lot of work over the last few days on night lighting actually. Audio popping on Xbox, all the Xbox audio has been regenerated to a higher quality, so yes, you should be fine, and that's across the entire catalogue. This is the West Coast Main Line, Luke, but you're running alongside it. The West Coast Main Line is those tracks to the side on the left. Once you've stopped here, can we just, everyone would like to know where, someone's just saying they don't know where Harrow is because it's not marked on the map. Can we correct that?
Yes.
We've got map markers now, folks. We've got map markers.
Yes, very good, yeah.
We're going to have to do a driver change soon as well, because I've got to dash off to catch a train shortly. So,
Yes, you're running out of
Yes,
time.
you don't want to miss your train, I was just thinking that.
unfortunately, you're going to be left with subpar driving from now on.
Oh,
Oh, God.
I'm going to drive badly intentionally now.
Morgan has asked, with this 3772, how far does that actually run on the route?
About a 15-minute run up to Watford, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to have to head off now, unfortunately, so I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Matt and Jamie. Nice talking to everybody. See you later.
All right.
thank you ever so much. You've been fantastic, and for all your knowledge and information, it's been brilliant.
Right, just handing over. Be with you in a second, folks.
All right.
Right. Oh, now I can probably take these earbuds out. There we go. Okay, right. So let's get the door. So we've got the map for you here as well. So you've got labels on there now. So you're asking where Harrow was, and it's there. And this applies to sidings as well. You've got you can see where the different sidings are. Very useful. Very useful. Let's get the doors locked. Get out of Dodge.
Mod pieces go. Brace yourselves, chat. Poor Matt.
I know. Poor Matt. We need a bit more of this poor Matt stuff. It's terrible.
Yeah, we did.
Don't believe a word he says.
Brilliant.
Catch you later.
Fine. All right.
Bye.
Safe journey. Coming in Headstone Lane.
It's nice because you can have the high speed runs of going backwards and forwards on the Pendolino or the 350, and then you can come over to here and have a nice relaxing run along. You know, got a bit more commutery. You know.
Yeah, this has got more frequent stops, and there are playable Bakerloo line services as well for even more variety.
Yeah. So can we, when you start moving, can we have a look at when the train is actually moving on the live map? Show that as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, you've got the new icons for the trains. That one's leaving soon. Wait a bit. Got some trains over here in the carriage sidings. Got another one moving here. One F112 doing 50 miles an hour. And then you've got one Yankee 08 doing 44 miles an hour, but accelerating currently, or ish. It's trying to go faster. Another one here, 56 miles an hour, one Romeo 06. Harrow and Euston is next. Yeah, at one point I'd started at Euston, drove up to Watford, then drove back to Euston, then drove back up to Watford, just going up and down, keep changing ends, cabs, and all sorts of things. It was so much fun.
Brilliant.
This is your train moving. It's not really an awful lot to see. It doesn't really look really any different than it used to.
British says lots of separate lines to learn huddlers. Yes, British Ace, yep. I look forward to seeing your videos on that. Matt, one question I have seen, why did you decide on this section of the West Coast Main Line? You know, the West Coast Main Line is quite a large route, you know, from London to Glasgow. You know, you could have picked any sort of section, so to speak?
Yeah, I
why
mean, it was by and large because, I mean, obviously the biggest bit of feedback on East Coast Main Line was wanting the London bit of it. But also the London bit of the West Coast Main Line has such a great variety of things going on, and key locations, and a unique opportunity to also have like a London Underground going on there as well. So it's kind of like it made sense. It's quite a challenge to build 28 stations or something, which is like London Brighton sort of size. And among once, that's kind of like among the biggest we do in a single route. The stations are quite complicated, so that's kind of the main reason, was just the massive service variety, and getting lots of stuff out of it. Rather than just making a route for the Pendolino specifically, you'd want to make a bit, you want to make longer. And I see the people, players that have been asking for longer, but this was about doing, it would be too impractical for us to get to Rugby or to Birmingham in TSW. So Milton Keynes felt like a good stop point that gave you a good balance of all sorts of different things.
Yeah. Oh, should we go over to a night run now?
Yeah, let's do a Pendolino run out of Euston. Someone asked for that earlier on. Just click the Pendolino for the Pendolino. Oh, Euston, 23:28. That'll be night, won't it?
Should be.
Some of these screenshots and these loading screens, by the way, have come from beta testers, just as an example of some of the things, the amazing shots they've been taking. Good. Doors open. Where are the headlights on this thing? Exterior lights. Night running.
Night running you need. We have a zoom round outside. Oh, wow.
Nearly time to go. This, by the way, this function here where you can click on a screen works on basically everything, including your back catalogue of trains as well. That's not just on new trains.
Can you see the skyline? The London skyline from there?
Not really. It's kind of all city.
Yeah.
Turn off the marker so it doesn't disrupt the view.
Good idea. It's quite scary as a driver at night. Sometimes you do think suddenly the speed sign suddenly come out of nowhere. You're like, oh, there's a speed sign. Oh,
Well, you see, it doesn't come out of nowhere because as a driver, you know exactly where they are and where you are, and
That is
you're
very
prepped
true.
for it. So it's kind of like, yeah, if you don't know, then yeah, it is, you know, because it feels like you're driving blind in a lot of cases. But no, because the drivers know the lines well, they have to.
yeah.
That's how they're able to do this. BT Tower there in the background.
There you go.
Remember, UK train lights are not there for the driver. They're there for everybody else to see the train.
The driver needs to be able to see the signals.
Let's get everyone. Annoy everyone.
Just honk everybody at 11:30 at night. I think there's actually certain times you're not allowed to honk it. You know,
Not when I'm driving, there aren't. Get to speed up in a minute.
Yep.
It's Camden Tunnels, I think, these ones. Yeah, this is the Camden area, if I remember rightly.
Lovely.
Okay, there's the 75. Obviously got cab light if you want some more light.
Yeah.
It's quite a big tunnel, this.
It is, yeah.
And then we're out to Blade Runner building. I can't remember the name of the apartment block is, but this is the building I believe that was featured in Blade Runner, and it's been in some other sort of futuristic movies as well. These ones that sort of come across, leaning across, they're quite iconic to this area.
Oh yeah, those ones. Yeah, I know the one. Yeah. Quite an interesting run out as you come out of Euston, really, isn't it? I think
It is.
You know, you got all the interchanging, crossing over lines. You know. Someone's asked, do the Pendolinos take separate paths to the 350s? I think they do, don't they?
Do what, sorry?
Do the Pendolinos take different route paths along the route than
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, I believe so. Especially because the 350s might be running stopping patterns, so they'll take the slow tracks, whereas the Pendolinos almost always use the fast lines. Going past Queen's Park, or we just did. .710 sitting over there. is that? That's Kensal Green. Thought it was. Having those labels is great. I love it.
Yeah, it's great seeing the names of the stations because I would always get them mixed up. Alex, this route on its own is... I've got it somewhere. I've got it somewhere. Where did I put it? $29.99 when this route comes out. That's in British pounds. You need any of the depots there?
Get 90 miles an hour in a minute. Oh no, then we're going to get slowed down again. Oh, that's fantastic. That is. Getting all excited. Got Wembley over here on the right.
Yeah.
Right, what else have we got on the plan to look at?
I
Or have
think
we run
that's
out?
it. I think that is everything we were going to look at. Let me just double check. That was... Yes, that was everything. That was everything.
Excellent. Just trying to think if there's anything that we said we'd look at the end. No, I think we've covered it. We've done fast travel, we've done route hopping, we've done the 2D
Yeah.
map.
Photo mode.
All the trains.
Then
Yeah, we're not running the 377. We'll run that other times.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of done it all.
We have indeed. Did you want to go over to the little different infographics and I can go through?
Yeah, let's
all
do
the-
that. Let me pause the game and let's switch over to. Let's go for that one.
So there we go. So that's this is what you get with London, Euston, Milton Keynes. So West Coast Main Line. You can see all the station names there. 28 of them. 50 miles. Then you've got the Pendolino there as your Deluxe Edition, or you can buy it separately. Go. And don't forget, you can get trains in Worldwide for free, but make sure you claim it before the October the 17th. And that's what you get included. And don't forget, these are our next streams. Look at all those. So you got some very fun and interesting streams to go come up.
Yeah, San Bernardino's next on September 5th, so make sure you come and join us. And then we've got Frankfurt Folder coming in last. And then I'm going to just sit and play all day on the 17th, and we can just all have some fun together. So do hope you'll join me.
Definitely. So this is your standard edition. You get the 3 routes there. That's $39.99. Here's your deluxe with the routes there, and you get the Pendolino and the Flix train and Cajon Pass as well. And then the special edition. Look at all that. Phew, that's a pack and a half.
Yeah, and adds other content. The idea is that Cajon Pass is added to augment San Bernardino line in the deluxe edition because it adds a lot of extra gameplay to it. And then all of these routes are designed to. So Castle Würzburg is obviously a route hop point for Frankfurt Fulda. They both share Fulda station. Bakerloo line shares a lot with the West Coast Main Line. Trenton adds an additional type of gameplay for the Americans, or the American enthusiasts, I should say. London Overground Suffragette line gives you that 710, which will let you, gives you the Lioness line on West Coast Main Line. And then Bremen Oldenburg adds additional flavour to Frankfurt Fulda as well. So yeah, lots to look at there.
Ta-da! We're here. There we are. We're still here. There we are. So hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, it's launching on the 17th with Deluxe and Special getting early access on the 12th. And as Matt said, we've got the next streams coming up. So yes, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're all excited. And we'll see you all in the next one, I assume.
See you later, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you've got any other questions or anything that comes up from this, do post on the forums, and one of the community team will be in touch, or I will. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next stream on San Bernardino. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.